Hey everyone, this is your average Jen coming at you from my room, back again. There's actually a lot that happened between me recording the last episode and recording this one. There was an epic cat fight, which will be put on TikTok if anyone wants to see that, between Cashmere and Karma. I almost said Chaos, but it was Cashmere and Karma. Anyway, let's get to the next part of the Jamie Winship thing that he was talking about, because he was right in the middle of talking about his team members and how weird they are. He was interviewing them. Okay, so here we go.
Welcome to the Weird Bible section of I'm Only Human, a podcast that is probably destined to become controversial if anyone actually listened to it, inspired by people for people. I have different story arcs going on throughout my podcast, and this area focuses on the NIV Bible, copyright 2011. I'm taking things directly from the Bible and putting an average human perspective on history. According to the Bible, we were created in the image of this person named God. Well, there are plenty of other views on the topic too, but this one will remain focused on the Bible. I feel the repetition of human emotions and behaviors that preceded all the foolishness that has led to the culture of our modern world has been greatly overlooked. I will not be speaking in traditional religious terms, and I'm sure I'll be saying a bunch of stuff wrong too. My apologies in advance. I'm not trying to destroy religion. I believe we were all created equal. Somewhere along the line, we forgot about that. I believe there is more knowledge in the Bible than people realize. Join me on this exciting adventure. How does our modern world compare to the world in the Bible? Is God the biggest grifter of all time? I would like to state that I am not an expert. I get my knowledge by observation, evaluating, researching, and building on the things I learned from other people. I believe there is truth in science fiction, movies, and in children's stories. It's time to wake up. It's time to reprogram our thinking and change our world in a peaceful way.
Third one comes in, graduated #1 from an engineering university, #1 full scholarship. I'm like, finally, one. Engineering, like a reasonable person, probably thought this out more than a van and eye problems, that. And so this woman comes in, young woman, 23 years old. She sits down, and I start talking to her, and she has a British accent. I'm like, oh, are you British? No. You're not British, no. Do you know you have a British accent, though, right? And she's like, oh, yeah. Your mom's British. Nope. My mom's born and raised in Tennessee. Your dad? My dad died when I was young. I never met him. Okay, did you grow up in a British community somewhere? No. Trailer park in Tennessee. And you have a British accent? Yes. Why? I don't like the Tennessee accent. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, I got it. How long have you been speaking with a British accent? My entire life. And she has this beautiful British accent. And I'm like, what are you going to do in the Middle East? And she said, well, I'm kind of a gypsy person. I'm going to wander around. Okay, perfect. If you need a ride in a van, we have a guy. He'll be going out at night, though. I don't know if you want to go in the day or the night, but you don't even need a chair. He's got the chairs. And she says, oh, no. I'm going to get inside the Islamic community. And I'm going to contextualize, and I'm going to learn an Arabic accent. And I'm like, well, you're obviously skilled, and I'm going to figure out how to just get deep in that culture, and I'll make contact with you when I'm ready. And I'm like, oh, and she goes, don't worry, I'll make contact with you. Oh, I'm not worried. You might not be able to find me. I don't know. Anyway, those were the top three. All of those three are bringing their sacrifices to God, their offerings to God. That's what they're doing. And I'm telling you, they are worthless as far as I'm concerned. I was like, We're not going to win this thing. How is God going to win? Is there anywhere in the Bible where God searches around and picks a loser? Yeah, darn it, it's the whole Bible. Shoot. I mean, the worst thing you could say to God is, I freak you out. And he's like, yep, and you're on the team. Yes. I was praying for a person like you. If you ever, I'm telling you, the worst thing you could do to God tonight is tell him something's wrong with you, because you're automatically on the team. You know who's not on his team? People where there's nothing wrong with them. They're not on his team. It's the people with something wrong with them. That was our team. We went with that team. Wasn't a bbig line of other candidates for this position, and so we go like with them. I mean, I had a really good plan personally. Like, I'm super experienced and stuff. I know a better plan. Like, and I told them my plan, and they were like, "Yeah, that's kind of boring. Your plan's boring. Like, anyone can think of that plan." Did you ever think about driving a van? No, I didn't know. It never occurred to me, like, well, we're cutting edge. No, you're nuts is what you are. But so like, my sacrifice is really good, I think. But there's a difference between my offering in this program and theirs. Here's the difference. Mine is separate from God. Mine's all in my own. I figured it out. I know what to do. Theirs are these crazy. So look what happens. So Cain brings this thing, and God's like, what is it? Did you bring anything? Like when I bring my plan to him about what we're going to do in the Middle East, he's like, okay, Jamie, that guy brought a van and lawn chairs. She's brought her vision. This, and she has really wide vision. This person, she sees way more than you do, Jamie. This girl doesn't let an environment dictate her life. She becomes whatever she feels like becoming. You know, you live in a trailer park in Tennessee. Do I? You know, it's like, okay, well, all right. But my plan, their plan, if God's not in this plan, it's not going to work. God doesn't even have to show up for my plan, because I got to figure it out. They're leaders. I'm a manager. That's all I'm doing. I'm status quo in it. We've done the research. We know the statistics. This works. This stuff. So Cain comes and he brings it. And so it says, but for Cain and his offering, God had no regard. So Cain was angry. I mean, like I would be. Like, my plan is a good plan. It's not these goofy plans. My plan is a good plan. And so when my plan doesn't work, it makes me mad. But here's the thing about anger. Anger is a secondary emotion. Anger means that there's another negative emotion before the anger. That's what it means. So if you're mad about something, it's because some other thing happened before the anger, which produced in you fear, guilt, or shame that results in anger. But to get to that, you have to open yourself up and join with God to figure that out. And so that anger that Cain feels, the anger is just reflecting something deeper in his heart. So God comes to him. Cain can hear from God. God doesn't come to Abel. God comes to Cain. He comes to sit down and have a conversation with Cain. Why? Because Cain is in trouble. God's not going to forsake Cain. God's not mad at Cain. He's saying to Cain, like, did you bring me anything? And Cain's like, that. And God's like, no, not that. That's nothing. That's not you. That's nothing. Did you bring me something from you, the real you? Did you bring something from up and out of your true identity that I died on the cross to redeem? That identity, did you bring that? Or are you just winging this thing out of some false, fake you? Like some kind of cliche person. Is that what you're doing? Look, because I can't see that, because I didn't make that, and I didn't make you like this. And I don't see this false you. Like, where's the real? What are you mad about? Like, let's fix this. What are you mad about? That's what the Lord asked them. Why are you angry? That's emotion number one. I mean, that's the presenting emotion. But underneath that is discouragement and depression, which is producing anger. He says, why are you angry? Why has your face fallen? What are you discouraged about? Discouragement, despair, failure produce anger, result in anger. The idea that I'm ceasing to exist causes me to rise up into anger and to hurt somebody. That's what people do when they're starting to not exist anymore. When a person is ceasing to exist because they're separated out and they start to vanish and no one sees them anymore. They walk around, we don't see you anymore. You're not important anymore. We don't see you. They'll do what a particle does when it's taken out of the relationship with another particle in the quantum level. If you have two particles in the very granular part of reality in quantum physics, if you take two particles and you separate them, both particles vanish. They cease to exist because they can't exist separate from another particle. They can't exist outside of relationship. And what they will do, they vanish. And scientists don't know where they're going to come back, but they know they'll come back. And the way they'll come back is they'll crash into another particle to give themselves life again in existence. So what happens to a teenager when they start to cease to exist? When the relationships fall apart, and they're being separated, and that's separated, and we don't want you in our school, and we don't want you in our house, and they start to separate, they begin to cease to exist. And what will they do? They will either vanish or they will crash back in to other people to say, I am here. And if I have to kill you to get you to pay attention to me, I will do it because it's better than ceasing to exist. And we don't know what to do with this. You know why we don't? Because we are separate here. We are. We have become separate. Cain, when he comes to God, he's already separate from God. Even though he's going to do this religious thing, he's coming in separateness. And he's coming to God, and God's like, no. You are never separate from me. God, this is what God says. I will never leave you I will never leave you nor forsake you. Never. God is omnipresent. He loves you. He loved you before you loved him. While we were his enemy, he died for us. He was reconciling us to himself while we were trying to remain separate from him. He has never gone away from us. Never. But we go away from him, and you can't really get away from God. If God is right here because God is reality itself, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going over here where you don't exist. Oh, you're here too. Where are you going to go? I'm going to separate myself from God. Where? Where are you going to go? David says, if I go to hell, he's still there. Where am I going to go? You can't go anywhere from the love of God. You cannot go anywhere from the love of God. The only thing you can do is in your mind, separate yourself from God in your own deception. And he's still right there, but in your mind, no, I'm separating. And when you start separating in your mind, you have to separate from yourself. You separate from yourself. When you separate from yourself, you start to stop existing. And then you will start doing things to try and give yourself existence. I got to feel something. And you'll start doing the things that destroy you to gain existence again. And that's called sin. And you just keep going farther and farther and farther away. Like Jonah, I'm leaving God. I'm getting on a boat. I'm going out into the water where Hebrews believed is the only place God couldn't go. And I'm going to go under the water where God can't go. But guess what? Yes, he can. And he has fish down there. And he's going to come get you. Why? Because he will never leave you nor forsake you. He won't. If you're sitting here tonight and you think you're separate from God, the only place you're separate from him is right inside your own mind. He is right there. He is right with you. And here's what you have to do to meet him. Hi. He said, hi. Where'd you come from? I've been here the whole time. In your mother's womb, I was doing this with you. I've always been here. Why did you separate from me? Why are you so downcast? And why is the stuff you're doing in life stuff that has absolutely no regard for anything else? And it's not even valuable. Why? Why are you downcast? Cain, why are you downcast? Imagine a quiet time. You're not even having a quiet time. You're mad at God. I'm going over here and I'm sitting here and God shows up. In your, I'm not talking to you, God, quiet time. He shows up and he goes, what's the matter? What's the matter? Cain, what's the matter? Why are you angry? Why is your face fallen? God's like, here's how we can correct this. Here's what we do. Here's what you need to do. Go to church. No. Memorize. No. Share your faith. No. Here's what you have to do to fix this whole thing. Do what's right. Do what's right. What that means there is do what's upright in your true identity. Do what's right from who you really are. Do that. Don't do this false, separate nonsense, lie, accusation. No, come back into your true identity, stand upright in your true identity, and do what your identity does. And if you will do that, it'll be fine. Like, that's how easy it is. You can do it tonight. I don't care how far over here you've gone. Here's how fast you can come back. You know why? Because he's right there with you. I'm walking way over here. Oh, there you are. He's right there. Why? No, do what's right. Be what I made you to be. Stand upright in who you really are. Stand upright and don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about the world. Do who you really are and everything will be all right with you. Jesus says it like this: seek first the kingdom and everything will be fine with you. Why are you so discouraged all the time? Why are you mad? Be who you're supposed to be. That's all. That's it. And go and be alive and free. Go. And I will be with you. I have always been with you. Let's go. But, he says, separateness is crouching at your door. That's what he says. Sin, separateness is crouching right there with you. This idea of making yourself separate, it's crouching at the door. It's waiting to take you away. Separateness, the idea of separateness is waiting to take you away. No one wants you. Nobody cares about you. It's waiting to take you away. You must master it. It's not magic. You must say, I will not be separate. I will not be separate. I will stand upright in my identity with Jesus. I will stand upright with you, and I will not be separate. And if you will do that, everything will be fine with you. Because if you're upright, you reconciled here in your own heart, reconciled here, you will be reconciled out here. I promise you. That's the beauty of the kingdom. I'm in. You've always been in. I want you. I've always been here. Let's go. It'll be fine. It'll be well with you. And here's what Cain says. No. No, he says no. Why? No, I love this miserable, depressed life. I love it. No. Why? I'm going to remain separate. Wow, there's your options. That's not a very complicated choice. Unified, reconciled, unity with God and others, yes or no. And because he says no, he breaks his relationship. He won't be with God. Nope. I'm going to be over here, and I'm going to live my own happy life apart from you. Where's my brother? And he kills him. That's the happy life, the free life. I was with these men over the last weekend, and one of them came up to me and he said, I'm not a Christian. I'm like, okay. Neither was Jesus. He's like, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, he wasn't. Anyway, never mind. Keep going. He goes, and I'm not a believer. I don't think I'm a believer. You don't believe in anything? No, I'm pretty sure I don't. Okay, but I want to be a believer. Okay, but I don't know what a believer is. Okay? He goes, can you explain to me what it is to believe in something? And I said, I believe I can. There you go. That was it. No, and I just said to him, when I was a little kid, I believed in Santa Claus. I loved Santa Claus. My dad did everything to convince us about Santa Claus. And I loved it. And then one night, my older brother, through apologetics and polemics, he disproved Santa Claus very logically, very, very methodically. The lie of Santa, we're disproving it through apologetics and polemics while I was laying in bed at night. And he destroyed the Santa Claus lie. This is what I was telling this guy. He's like, wow, I just wanted to talk about belief. I'm like, don't stop. I'm in the story. Hold on. And I'm laying in bed, 3rd grade, and I realize I've been deceived. He goes, it's been Dad the whole time. Couldn't you tell when you were talking to Santa on the phone it was Dad? Like, People sound alike on the phone. I want to believe. And so he disproved it. And then I realized, no, it's right. It's not true. How do you think I felt? Yay, I'm free of the lie of Santa Claus. I'm liberated. Christmas sucks. That's how I felt. Like you stole. I don't feel good that I'm a Santa atheist now. I'm not. I'm sort of agnostic. No, I'm an atheist when it comes to Santa. I'm like, yeah, but you haven't been to the North Pole. I don't care. I'm an atheist. Like that. But losing my belief didn't make me happy. It made me sad. It made my face downcast. And Christmas was never the same. I said, believe is what we all have to have. We need it. It's beauty to us. But believe what's true and don't believe what's false. That's the challenge. This is what it says about Abel. By faith, here's the difference. Here's Cain coming up to God with this thing. And I'm mad at you, by the way. That's it. That's like sharing your faith because you have to. That's like telling someone about Jesus as a weapon to hurt them. That's what that is. Using Christianity to separate people. Saying, you know what? I'm better than you because I know Jesus. That's what Cain is doing. And God's like, boy, I don't see this. I'm not a part of this. You're using the kingdom to separate people. Don't do that. Speak from your true identity. Do that. And so here's what it says about Abel. By faith, Abel, faith is the substance of things we hope for. It's the evidence of things we can't see yet. It's that belief. It's that beauty. It's that, wow, what could happen? What could happen if I was unified in myself and with God and with other people? What if I walked in reconciliation with people in my neighborhood instead of fighting with them and protecting myself from them? By faith, Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice. That means greater. It's just greater than Cain, by which he obtained a witness that he was righteous, that he was morally upright. No. That he was living upright in who he really was, and he was bringing to God from his own true identity to God and saying, God, I'm just going to give you what I have. This is what I do. I watch sheep. This is the best part of what I do. And when I watch sheep, and here it is. And God's like, beautiful. What do you do? Bring it. That's what Cain does. Abel does. He comes by faith. So one night, I'm going to wrap it up here. And I'm going to talk more about this on Sunday, I just decided, because I want to tell you what happens with these three people. But one night, there's these two Muslim guys way up in the desert. One of them has had a dream about Jesus. I don't know exactly how. And he's telling the other Muslim, have you ever dreamed about Isa, the Jesus, the one in the Quran? He's like, no. He goes, I've had a dream about him, and I want to figure out how to figure out who Jesus is. How can I do that? And I don't want to tell anyone about it. Do you know anywhere I can learn about Jesus? And the other young Arab guy goes, you're not going to believe this, but I heard a rumor that there's a guy driving around in the desert at night in a van. I don't know if it's true. And he's like, but apparently this guy drives around at night and he moves around and then he sets up lawn chairs, some recline lawn chairs. And you can go there and he's an American, he talks about Jesus. And the guy goes, how do you know that? He goes, I met this woman, her eyes are... She was in the market, her Arabic's unbelievable. And I heard her talking to this British woman that was with her, and they were having this conversation, and they were talking about this guy driving around in the van, and they knew I could hear him. And so I think they were trying to communicate to me. And so he said, do you know how to get in contact with her? He goes, I know how to get to the British woman. She's like a gypsy. She just kind of wanders around, but her Arabic's really good. And I know how to contact her because she works with a bunch of women down in the marketplace. Go down and contact that guy. Do you know where the van is meeting? Yes. And they tell me where. And this kid, both of them go out into the desert and they come and there's this van and lawn chairs and they go there. And that's how both of them came to Christ. And those two guys, yes. Those two guys became the leaders of the movement that occurred in that city. Those two guys. By a wandering eye southerner talking to a British trailer park girl about a guy who drives a van around the desert. Yeah. And God said, Jamie, where's your thing? Like, I don't see anything. And I was bitter and downcast. That's the difference between Cain and Abel. Bring me who you are. Bring me who you are. The dumbest idea you have, bring it from your true identity and lay it on there, and God will have regard for it, and he will take that thing and turn it into, you have no idea. But here's the thing, don't separate. Stay with him. Get back with him tonight. We're going to pray right now. I'm going to close by praying right now. If the band wants to come up here, they might have left already. They might have separated from us earlier. This is what I want to pray. Simple. I just want to ask God, like I'm Cain, like God's right in our face, and he's come right up to us. Jesus is right up to us. Jesus is the exact representation of the invisible God. That's how we image God, is Jesus. Jesus is right there. Here's his question, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, what are you upset about? What's wrong? That's called confession. Tell me what's wrong. Why are you so discouraged? What happened? Why did you step away from me like this? Tell him. Say it. Tell him, because, Lord, because this, and I feel like this, and tell him. Tell him. And repentance is him telling you the truth about who you really are. And he's just going to say this to you. Look. Just stand up right in your true identity. Stand up. Not in this separate, broken down. Stand up right in your true identity, the identity I gave you. If you don't know what that is, ask him what it is. Stand upright in that and give him that. Just give him that. And I promise you, the ideas that come out of your head, I don't care what the rest of the world thinks about them, they're going to be amazing. And Sunday, I'm going to tell you about those two Arab guys and what happened to them because of that study in that van in the desert. So let's do that together. Father, let's bow our heads. Father, we come to you in the name of Jesus, the great reconciler. The one who, like I said earlier, the one who, while I was your enemy, you died so I couldn't be separate from you. And your perfect love, which casts out all fear. Like you came so that we could be united with you and united with our own identity. Like we're separate from our own heart. There's a division inside of me that it doesn't allow me to be with other people or you, Lord. And so, Lord, you came to heal that, to bring healing and reconciliation in my own heart to myself and then with you and then out to other people. So, Lord, this is my question as you search me and know me tonight. Lord, where in my heart am I separate from you? Like, where did it happen? It's a little thing. It was something small that just got worse and worse and worse. And I want to come back. Lord, I can be Cain and Abel in the course of a day. Half a day I can be Abel, and the half a day I'm Cain. I want to be able all the time. I want to stand upright in my true identity. And Lord, I want to bring things to you that come from who you made me to be and let you expand them and take them beyond what I could hope or dream. That's what I want, Lord. That's what I want. And I want to be able to lead other people in this. I want to be able to impact my community with this. So Lord, just help me tonight. Lord, just help me to tell the truth. Where am I separate from you? And say it to him. And then say, Lord, bring me back. And go back to him. Come back. In Jesus' name, amen.
In closing, I would like to say that the opinions expressed here were strictly of my own making or by my guests. Take what you like and leave the rest. You may come to realize that you may not like me or what I want to share, but let's talk to each other, reason things out, but let there be no gossip or criticism of one another. Instead, let the fellowship of ethical human behavior and the serenity from positive human interaction help you grow and chill out, one experience at a time. I would like to thank my higher power for guiding me through this podcast. I hope to spread the message of love, hope, and understanding by touching one life at a time. If you like this podcast, please like and share it. Comments also help other struggling people find it. I am also listener supported, and if you would like to contribute, please feel free to do so. There is no obligation. If you would like to share feedback, you can email me at averagehumanbeing1875@gmail.com. There is also a link you can click if you'd like to send a voice message and add to the content of the show.
Okay. Stop sharing. I think there's a lot of like Jamie's talks that I listen to, and like this is one of them that I really, really enjoyed. And then there's like the Antioch youth thing. You're really going to have to go to the Identity Exchange website and check out all of this stuff. I mean, it is pretty awesome. And yeah, that's all I can do. I'm going to have to put that link in the show notes. I know I didn't put it in the last episode. I'll put it in this one. So click on that link to Identity Exchange and go check it out for yourself. It's pretty awesome. And if you like the YouTube thing, if you like what you've heard, please like it and share it. And feel free to talk about it with other people. I mean, that was the whole point of this, is to be inspired, to not be afraid, to be yourself, like your true self, not the person that you portray yourself to be, but the person who you are underneath all that. That person you are, well, you were as a kid before life squashed everything out of you. All right, have a good night. And I'm signing off. Bye-bye.